Happy holidays, everyone. I'm Katie Stover, Director of Reader Services for Kansas City Public Library. Welcome to Holiday Gift Shelf Help. Your librarians are here to suggest some great gift ideas for the readers on your list. We have books for all ages and all kinds of readers: history, picture books, romance, fantasy, young adult fiction. Our reading experts have wrapped up their favorite titles and present them to you with best wishes for the season. Let's peek inside their gift bags of books. Hello, Hunter. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays, Katie.
Hunter Hawkins is a library assistant at Kansas City Public Library, and his list is a grab bag of great reading goodies. So, Hunter, what are you suggesting for readers this season?
Yes, so first I want to bring up one of my favorite books of all time, truly. It's called Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. I was scrolling through our ebook catalog and I came across this one since I love books with LGBTQ themes. And I listened to it on the way to work in the car. And I just fell in love with it so much. When I heard those last few chapters, I was crying in my car. And it is just perfect for, I would say firstly for like the teens in your life. But also, I think that adults have a lot that they can learn from this book as well, since it's about sort of being honest with yourself and, discovering who you really are.
This is a wonderful book for adults. And I believe the author is local too.
Yes, he sure is.
So folks, if you want to support a local author, this book is ideal. And tell us about the next one, Hunter.
Yes, so my next one is called The Stonewall Reader, which was edited by the New York Public Library. And it is a collection of essays and interviews with people who were present for the Stonewall riots more than 50 years ago, which sort of revolutionized sort of queer rights. And it is just this perfect like firsthand account, and it is perfect to gift to anyone in your life who is maybe a history buff or is interested in queer themes. And what's great about it is that all the interviews are really short. So you can read one, take a little break, read another one. And it's a nice little sampler of some history.
Oh, I love books that let you snack in between reading. So it's like, read an essay, have a cookie, read an essay, have a piece of candy.
Exactly.
And I know you brought one of my favorite picture books of all time. I can't wait to hear you talk about this one.
Yes, I sure did. It's called Julián is a Mermaid. And it is just, like you said, just this gorgeous picture book for children about this little boy who sees these women dressed as mermaids on the train for the Mermaid parade. And he sort of decides that he wants to dress as a mermaid too. And it is just this wonderful tale. The first time I read it, I was sitting on the floor at the library, putting children's books back on the shelves, flipping through them as I shelved them. And I cried on the floor of the library. And it's perfect, especially for any kids in your life, because if you read a story like this to them, it helps them know that no matter who they are, you will be there for them and love them just the same.
It's a beautiful book. Those gorgeous pastel drawings, just stunning, just stunning. It's one of my favorites too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
This has been great, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Yes, you too, Katie. Thank you so much.
Hi, Diana. Mary.
Mary.
We are talking with collection development librarian Diana Platt. I'm wondering what she's going to unwrap for us this afternoon. So, Diana, what books are on your nice list for the holidays?
Well, I like to give a lot of books in the genre of science fiction and fantasy because a lot of my family are big nerds, as I myself am. So the first book I want to talk to you guys about today is called The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. This book has been described to me as a hug in a book. It is the perfect antidote to 2020 as we're all getting so tired of everything. It is heartwarming and refreshing. It is a fantasy novel, so it's got a lot of, it features magical children and magical bureaucracy, but has just been one of those books that amongst librarians we've talked about as the thing that made us feel good. And so I highly recommend that book for anybody who loves, fantasy, their Harry Potters. It actually is also recommended for people who like the Umbrella Academy. So you've got your kind of range of fantasy there to go through.
Sounds like the perfect book to read on Christmas Eve during the Book of Flood. So what else did you bring?
I also wanted to talk about a book that is part of the Star Wars universe. It's called From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this is kind of an ongoing series. They have From a Certain Point of View for Star Wars, and then I assume they will have one for Return of the Jedi as well. And who knows what they'll end up doing for other movies in the franchise. But the book on the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, and then on the 40th anniversary now of The Empire Strikes Back, they are taking authors from the science fiction and fantasy community and allowing them to write a story from the perspective of an unexpected perspective. So either from a minor character's point of view or a person whose point of view didn't get the main glory in the first go around. You've got authors in there like Hank Green and Mackenzie Lee. The Star Wars one features Will Wheaton and other great science fiction and fantasy mainstays, including authors who are people's names you might recognize if you read in the Star Wars genre, that are writing the extended universe canon for Star Wars right now. So this is a great one for anybody in your life who is into that Star Wars life, which I'll admit I'm one. It is full of little pieces of lore for that universe that just kind of give it a more full perspective.
That book just went on my give list for a special someone in my life. Now, it wouldn't be the holidays without all those warm, fuzzy Christmas movies. So I know you brought a romance for us.
Yes, I could have decided on a Christmas romance. There are so many, but by the time Christmas comes and you give the gift, are they still going to want to read about Christmas? So I picked something that was non-seasonal for you, and that's going to be Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. Now, this is another one that's part of a series about the Brown sisters. The first book in the series was Get a Life, Chloe Brown. You don't have to read them in any particular order, but I picked this one because I just love the characters so much. Dani Brown is a career-driven academic, and the love interest is a retired rugby star who's got just the greatest story. And they get together when she gets stuck in an elevator during a fire drill and he rescues her, but somebody records the rescue and it goes viral. So they decide to fake the relationship so that his struggling charity can get some positive press. And of course, like many fake relationships in romance, fake love leads to real affection. And it's just really great how these two characters grow and evolve into each other in a really sweet way. So I love this book and I would recommend it for anybody who loves romance, particularly anybody who's looking to read a little bit more diversely, because it does feature a diverse cast and a lot of talk about mental health issues for both characters in really healthy ways.
Oh, I love a good warm romance at the holidays. It's like reading a cup of hot chocolate.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Diana. Have a great new year.
Yeah, you too.
Best of the season, Alicia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Alicia Helms is a computer librarian at Kansas City Public Library. And Alicia, and you brought a grab bag of great titles for a silent night of reading. What's the first one?
Yeah, so the very first one I have is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. It is about a grumpy old man who is in his solitary world, and it gets kind of switched upside down when he gets a new neighbors, which is a young family, and it kind of just changed his perspective on life. And yeah, I loved it. I picked it up a while ago when it was really popular, but I kept going at it because Ove just grabbed my attention. He grabbed it and would not let me go. And I read until the very end. And even now, I mean, years after I've read it, he still has my attention. So I would suggest that for any adult that wants a good book that's about family and it's heartwarming tale. It's very enjoyable.
That's a nice, warm, fuzzy read. It's one of my favorites to give to readers who say they want something without bad language or a lot of violence, and they just people they can fall in love with. What's the next one you brought?
Another good book that I love is Beauty Queens by Libby Bray. It's about the 50 contestants for Miss Teen Dream beauty pageant that crash lands on an island. And these girls have to figure out how to survive and make it off this island. I picked it up because the cover is ridiculous. It's a girl in a bikini with a beauty queen sash on one shoulder and then a ammo pack of lipstick on the other. Like, it just catches your attention. So you're like, what in the world? And I kept reading it because the girls are amazing in it. It definitely is like women power, girl power. And it tells you not to like judge essentially a book by a cover, but also people by a cover too. These girls are beauty queens, but they're more than that too. And it just, every character just grabbed my attention, and I kept going with it. I wanted to see what was going to happen on this crazy island. And this book would probably be for anybody that wants to laugh and feel empowered and uplifted. It is just this awesome girl power book, and I can't recommend it enough. I love it.
Wow. It sounds like Survivor goes to the Miss America pageant.
Yeah, it is.
It also sounds so much fun. Libby Bray is so funny. What book you brought for us?
The next book I brought is Can You See Me by Libby Scott and Rebecca Westcott. They're two co-authors on this book. And it's a glimpse into the world of a young autistic girl as she starts a new school. It's set in England, but it translates into American. So she's starting middle school at this time. And I picked it up because the main cover is just a picture of Tally, the young main character in it. And she just has this sass to her. And she's just, the way she's standing in this cover, I just wanted to know, who is this girl and what is she even thinking at this time? And I kept reading it because of Tally. She had so much to teach me about autism, and it was just an amazing representation and a glimpse into another person's world and how they see things and view things and everything. And Tally I loved her so much. And it's for anyone. It's a middle grade book, but I recommend it to anybody. It wants to, if you want to see something through another person's eyes, learn a little bit more about autism. Libby Scott, who's one of the co-authors, wrote it based on her life, some stuff on her life. And so it just lets you experience the world differently. And so it brings me open my eyes to a whole new thing.
Holidays are a great time to get to know a different person and a whole new world. Thanks so much, Alicia, and have a great holiday.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
It's time now for a sleigh ride with Leslie Case, event technician at Kansas City Public Library. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Katie.
She has books for the person in your life who wishes the Halloween season lasted just a little bit longer. And her gift books come with a lot of spice to offset all that holiday sugar.
That's right. So these books are for a reader who, given the choice, would rather watch Nightmare on Elm Street instead of Miracle on 34th Street. These books I read just recently, and I blew through all of them. And let me tell you, I am an incredibly slow reader. So my first book is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. It is part ghost story. It is part murder mystery. It is a thriller with twists and turns that will keep you guessing until the end. It is great for anyone who really loves the Amityville Horror or The Haunting of Hill House that was recently on Netflix.
Ooh, it sounds like this one is all about where you live and how creepy it is where you live. Your house is trying to get you, folks. What's the next one you brought?
The next one is called The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This one has a totally new take on vampires. And let me tell you, the vampires in this book do not sparkle. This one is great for people who love movies like Hereditary, movies with those really kind of disturbing images that are going to stick with you long after you're done reading the book.
Grady Hendrix is a favorite among horror writers. I think I might want to give this one to a bloodthirsty grandma too, since it's about a book club.
There you go. I think that's a great idea.
What else did you bring?
So the last one I have for you is called Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. And this one is kind of a modern take on that old zombie trope. But it takes place under modern pandemic response. So if you want a book that combines the thrill of a zombie book and the modern terror we are living in right now, Survivor Song is for you.
Oh my gosh, Leslie, it sounds like you're totally set for your nightmare before Christmas. Have as merry a new year as you can.
You too.
Hello, Ryan. Jingle jangle.
Hello.
Everyone, we are chatting with Ryan Reed. He is the One North Technology Lab supervisor for the Kansas City Public Library. So, Ryan, what titles are you hanging tinsel on this year?
Oh, I guess I got to start with The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel.
Tell us about Glass Hotel and what makes it a great gift for the reader in your life.
Oh man, I love her work. She also did Station 11, which was another really good one. Really character-driven stories of just like these kind of just troubled but beautiful characters that find themselves in weird sort of situations that border between, you know, like something ethereal and supernatural in the everyday life. She does just a really good job of making these characters very personal when you read them, and just puts them in these fantastic stories.
So these are a good fit for a fantasy reader or a literary reader?
I would say for this one, this is definitely more folks who are interested in art. They're interested in creation. They're interested in like personal expression, like people who are just trying. Most of her characters are trying to find their voice in a very loud world, and watching them try and do that is interesting. It's not always a happy story, but it's always pretty beautiful.
She writes such wonderfully satisfying books. You really feel as if you've learned something and that you've really spent your reading time wisely when you read Emily St. John Mandel. So that one's going on my list for sure. Tell us about the next one you brought.
The next one that I got is a collection of poetry by Tracy K. Smith called Life on Mars. I picked it up just because it had the title, and I'm a big Bowie fan, so I was like, oh, I bet you this is good. And I started reading it, and I was just like, wow, it's just amazing. Turns out she was the poet laureate of the United States, and she won the Pulitzer Prize for this. So it turns out she's amazing. But the book, all the poems are kind of have the same sort of theme to them, and they deal with kind of this parallel of like space and longing for the stars and longing for another world, while at the same time kind of grounding the whole story in this relationship with her father. And so she kind of like paints the sort of picture in a lot of these poems of like, you know, reaching for unattainable things while also having unattainable things like very close to you. They're just amazingly beautiful poems, and just tear through them very, very quickly, and it'll leave a great poetry taste in your mouth.
Oh, poetry for anybody, Tracy K. Smith. And this would be a great book to give to teens who are interested in writing and reading poetry as well, wouldn't it? For sure. Yeah, she's just so wonderful. Now, I think I saw a hint of your last book, but surprise us, what is it?
The last one is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. And it's just a staggering book that I love to give people who it's that feeling when you have like a book that, you know, like you're going to read this and it's going to open a whole new world and you're just going to consume all of these books. It's like giving somebody Harry Potter for the first time and being like, this is exciting. But also I just feel like N.K. Jemisin's abilities to write these characters and these settings, I think kind of like for our current time of people who are just kind of like the world's been thrown at them over and over and over again, and they're looking for the strength to keep going. And N.K. Jemisin just writes these characters that are just resilient in the face of like global catastrophe and personal tragedy, and the characters alone, not to mention the world building that she puts into these just this beautiful trilogy that won the Hugo Award for all three instances of the book, which is the first time that I think anybody had done that. So it's, again, heavy hitter.
Wow. So N.K. Jemisin, for those times, readers, when you need to escape the world you're in or get the strength to keep going in the world you're in. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. This was terrific. Have a wonderful new year.
Hey, you too. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Lauren. I see you have your two front teeth, so I don't know what I'm giving you for Christmas this year.
I mean, it would be a great idea for you to adopt me, become my mom, and then pay all my student loans. That would be, if I had to pick, that would be an excellent gift.
I wonder if that's a gift for me, though.
Right.
Lauren Olson is a youth librarian for Kansas City Public Library, and she has visions of Biblio sugar plums that to dance in our heads and share with us this season. So tell us, Lauren, what you brought.
Well, I wanted to lead off with something absolutely cozy and heartwarming, and that's the picture book You Matter by Christian Robinson, whose illustrations are known for being super warm and playful. And the message in this one, it speaks to individuals, it speaks to kiddos, but it's a lot about interconnectedness too. So it's really gonna warm those cockles.
Oh, this sounds like a great picture book for adults as well to read with the kids.
A lovely read aloud choice.
And what else did you bring?
I wanted to make sure I had something in there for the animal lovers in your life. Some really very just super dense nonfiction with the Kitten Lady's big book of little kittens. And that's by Hannah Shaw, AKA the Kitten Lady, who is known across YouTube as being like top tier baby kitten rescuer. And in this book, she documents her whole process in hopes that maybe kids would want to become kitten rescuers too. You can just feel the purrs and the mews just radiating off the pages.
A book for all the animal lovers, a book for teens,
Mm-hmm.
who are allergic to cats.
Yes, perfect.
And your last one, what'd you bring?
My last one is a graphic novel, perfect for older elementary and middle school kids. It's called Class Act by Jerry Craft. You might recognize Jerry Craft from his Newbery Award-winning book, New Kid, and the characters are back in this one. It's a companion book, not a sequel, so you don't have to have read New Kid to read this one. And it covers difficult topics, but it also has a super relatable sense of humor. Characters that you just want to curl up on the couch and spend a Saturday afternoon with.
What a great list of youth titles to give kids of all ages in your life. Thank you so much, Lauren. Merry and bright.
Merry, merry, happy, happy, Katie.
Hello, April, holly jolly.
Happy holidays, Katie.
Everyone, April Roy is our Plaza Library Director for Kansas City Public Library, and April's going to walk us through her winter wonderland of reading for the season. What do you have, April?
I'm so excited to talk about books today. The first book that I want to mention is a really great, colorful, easy reader called Meet Yasmin. Meet Yasmin is a book about an adventurous little girl who loves to learn about things and then apply her knowledge. It's also a great snapshot into the life of a family that immigrated from Pakistan, and it has phenomenal back matter, including recipes. This book is really wonderful for beginning readers and is sure to excite them and maybe even get them to love a whole new series, because Yasmin has plenty of other books.
What a fun book, one that comes with recipes, so you can get your kids in the kitchen as well as get them reading about someone fun from another land and another culture. That's wonderful. And the next one, April, what did you bring?
The next book that I want to talk about is a really intricately woven novel in verse called The Snow Fell 3 Graves Deep by Alan Wolfe. And what Alan Wolfe does, he's a master poet, and he weaves together familiar stories from history from a lot of different voices. So this book is a retelling of the story of the Donner Party. And we hear from some of the usual suspects, the Donners and the Reeds, but we also hear from characters like the oxen and the snow. And the entire book is narrated by Hunger. Again, intricately woven novel in verse. So these poems are phenomenal. And if you love this one, Alan Wolfe does retell 2 other historical events, the story of the Titanic and the story of Lewis and Clark.
Wow, these sounds like great books for history readers as well as poetry lovers.
Definitely.
That one's going on my list, April. Thank you. And what else did you have for us?
The last book that I want to talk about today is a collection of essays. I don't know if some of you have been having some trouble focusing on your reading during the pandemic, but I have. It's been a little hard for me to struggle through novels. So the last one I picked is a book of essays that you can pick up and put down as you have time and energy to read. It's called Don't Call Me Crazy. 33 Voices Start the Conversation About Mental Health, edited by Kelly Jensen. This is a book of essays by some of our favorite writers, some of our favorite folks in pop culture about their own experiences with mental health, whatever those experiences might be. And I found this book really relatable and really helpful, particularly during this strange time we're living in.
That's a great book when you think about how much self-care we've been talking about this year. And this is a wonderful book that explores your mental health and how to take care of yourself mentally as well. Kelly Jensen, I love her. She's an editor with Book Riot, if her name sounds familiar to any of you. Well, thank you so much, April. Have a very happy, warm new year.
Thank you, Katie.